A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra. Let's start off with a look at the headlines.
Term of 6 provincial councils expire. No consensus among political parties on election system. Cabinet spokesperson assures fuel price formula will be presented next week. Singaporean company Hambantota Power Private Limited granted cabinet approval to construct 400 megawatt natural gas power plant.
The weekly cabinet media briefing was held in Colombo today.
උතුරේ හමුදා අඥාපතිතුමා ප්‍රකාශයක් කරලා තිබුණා. උතුරේ ඉන්න
Minister, the army commander in the northern province requested police powers for 2 days to control the criminal gangs in the area. Isn't he implying that the police is not fulfilling their responsibilities properly?
තමන්ගේ රාජකාරිය නිසි ලෙස ඉටු කරන්නේ නැති බව.
නෑ ඉතින් හුඟක් වෙලාවට පොලිසියට කරන්න බැරි වුණාම තමයි හමුදාව කැඳවන්නේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ හමුදාපතිවරයාට දැනුණේ රජයට දැනුන්නේ නැද්ද?
තවම අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නෑ. මොකද අපේ රජය හමුදාව යොදවන්නේ නැහැ. අන්තිම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය දේවකට මිසක්.
අමතව යම් සාකච්ඡාවක් වෙලා තියෙන රජයේ හමුදාවට යම් කිසි බලතලක් දෙන්න.
නෑ නෑ.
තෙල් මිල සූත්‍රයේ ඔබතුමාලාගේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයටවත් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවද? ඔබතුමාලා දැක්කද? ඔබතුමාලාට ඒ පිළිබඳ අවබෝධයක් තිබෙනවද?
නෑ තෙල් මිල සූත්‍රය දාපු දවසම අපිට පෙන්නුවා.
ඔව්. එතකොට අවුරුද්දට 12 පාරක් මේ මිල වැඩි.
If the prices increases 12 times a year, the prices of everything will increase in line with it. But there are no price formulas for those. No one suggests that the price of coconut should increase according to a formula. No one says the prices of fish bun should increase, but the prices increase when the fuel prices increase. Although we have requested it under the Right to Information Act, we haven't received it. So what actions will you take?
මේකට ගන්න පියවර මොකද්ද?
සුරංග කියපු කාරණේ ගැන පසුගිය කැබිනට්
Special attention was focused on what Suranga just mentioned, because when the price of fuel increases, certain traders increase the prices of other products in an inconsiderate manner. Instructions have been given to the Cost of Living Committee to look into this and do the needful.
ජීවන වියදම් කමිටුවට විශේෂ අවධානය යොමු කළා ඒ පිළිබඳව ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගන්න කියලා කිව්වා.
ඊළඟ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩල තීරණ දැනුම් දීමේ මේ අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩල සාකච්ඡාවෙන් අනතුරු තියෙන මීඩියා කන්ෆරන්ස් එකේදී අපිට ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා ඔබතුමාලට අපිට ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද ඔය තෙල් මිල සූත්‍රය
පුළුවන් ඔගේ ප්‍රාසක් නෑ තෙල් මිල සූත්‍රය කියන එක.
අපිට ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඔබතුමා පොරොන්දු වෙනවා.
බඩු මිලයි මිල සූත්‍රය දෙකම ලබන සතිය ගේනවද එහෙනම්?
ඔව් හොඳයි.
ඇමතුමා මේ ඔය රුපියල අවප්‍රමාණය
Minister, the government decided to suspend the vehicle permits issued to the MPs due to the rupee depreciation. Some allege that certain MPs have already received vehicle permits and that this has only affected the state sector employee. What do you have to say about it?
එකක් උනේ කියලා ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාගේ අදහස් දැන.
අගමැතිතුමා අරගෙනත් නෑ.
The Prime Minister hasn't taken it, nor the Speaker. There are those who did not obtain the permit, and there are those who obtained and those who didn't.
දෙගොල්ලොම ඉන්නවා හැම
ඒ
පාර්ටියකම.
ඔබතුමාලා දෙන්න ගත්තත් දන්නේ නැහැ නේ.
මම ගත්තා.
මම තමයි පාර්ලිමේන්තු කටයුතු ඇමති
ඉස්සෙල්ලම ගන්න ඇති.
228 දෙනෙක් අරන් තිබෙනවා.
ගායන්තවතුමා
සියලු දෙනාම අරන් තියෙනවා.
උතුරේ චීෆ් මිනිස්ටර් විග්නේස්වරන්ට වාහනයක් දෙන ඩොලර් 60,000ක වාහනයක් දෙන්න කියලා ඇමති මණ්ඩලයේ ප්‍රතික්ෂේප වුණා දීයේ.
ඔය ඔක්කොටම නවත්තපු එක එක්කෙනෙකුට දෙන්න බෑනේ. ඉල්ලීමක් කළා ඊයේ කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවත් වුණා ඒක ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කළා.
Deputy Minister Karunaratne Paranavithana says he will seek the total abolishment of duty-free permits to MPs and ministers. He was speaking to Newsfirst Shalom Benedict on Newsline this morning.
Mr. Paranavithana, as a member of the young society, the new generation coming up, I am not happy with the fact that politicians are asking me to tighten my belt. How are we supposed to tighten our belt? I mean, we already make ends meet quite hard. It's very, very hard to make ends meet as a member of the general public, and I'm pretty sure our viewers out there would be privy to this. It's not justifiable. It's not fair. It's point blank unfair for politicians to ask the general public to tighten their belts at a time when they have tightened their belts to the extreme. I mean, fuel prices are up. Fuel prices are increasing every month. And along with fuel prices, you get the transportation costs increasing. On the 1st of October, train fares were increased. All of these fares keep on increasing. Taxes upon taxes are being imposed.
Who asked to tighten the belt? What politician? What politician asked?
Ministers of the government.
Tell me what minister. I know that there is a perception that there's a notion that politicians, leaders in this country has asked people to tighten their belt. But
it's a fact.
The people mean who? Not only politicians, all the people. That's why the Minister Mangala Samaraweera this time introduced some rules on curtailing some imports of luxury vehicles and goods. That's for who? That's for politicians.
But
not for ordinary people.
So yes, the question is, what's the point? There is no possibility. Since all the politicians have already imported their vehicles, it's 3 years into this government.
This is the starting point. This time we have taken a decision, so we have to adhere that if you want to continue, if you are going to totally abolish this facility, okay. I'm totally inagreeable with that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you, if there is a motion brought in Parliament to abolish this,
I raise my hand.
You will definitely raise your hand. Yeah. But how many other ministers and deputy ministers and parliamentarians and whole do you think will raise their hands?
I think given the situation, I think the whole Parliament will be inagreeable with this kind of thing, because this is a serious matter.
The 2016 report of the Employee Provident Fund reveals that a loss of 8,449 million rupees has been incurred after EPF money was invested in the stock market in the year 2015 and 2016.
In the annual report of the EPF for the year 2016, the losses incurred by the fund between 2015 and 2016 is mentioned under the Auditor General's observations. In 2015, the fund has incurred a loss of 4,310 million rupees after investing in stocks. In the year 2016, the loss stood at 4,139 million rupees. The Auditor General says that the fund, which stood at 83.57 billion in 2015 and 79.87 billion in 2016, has not received a return for the investments it has carried out. The recommendations of the Auditor General further notes that the losses incurred by the investments in stocks resulted in the reserves of the fund to reduce. The report says that the reduction in the stock value of 6 companies that the fund has been investing over a long period of time incurred losses of 5,232 million rupees to the fund in the year 2016. 36% of the said loss is due to the reduction of the stock value of one single company. The Auditor General noted that though the fair value of the investment done in one company has reduced by approximately 56%, this has not been identified when the loss was being calculated. Due to the economic downfall of this country, which started from the 2015 bond scam, the investments in the bonds and in the stock market were withdrawn. That downfall has worsened. There is no chance to prevent this and get it back to a good state now. The government very disrespectfully tries to utilize the Employees Provident Fund and hold this economic downfall. Because of that, there are various scams happening in the country based on the bond scam, which came to light in 2015.
The Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources and Disaster Management, Duminda Desanayake, made the following statements at a media briefing held today.
The press has reported that 150 million had been deposited from a foreign account to an account of a cabinet minister. Are you aware of this situation?
I believe that an investigation would be conducted immediately about this matter and as to who this minister is. We do not know the identity of the minister. It would be ideal if you can name this minister, because even I was informed of this through Lanka E-News. I even contacted the owner of Lanka E-News, Sandaruwan, because he had used my picture for the article. Even though my face was blurred, my hand was visible. Some had commented saying it was me. I asked him why he used my picture when I had no connection to this incident. I asked him who would take responsibility for this character assassination.
Wasn't the account yours?
Would I talk like this if that account was mine?
We just wanted to confirm it because it is being reported in newspapers.
The only reason an account of mine would be seized is because it had no money over a long period.
That means you have no connection to this incident?
No. If I did, I wouldn't speak to you like this. The problem is all 225 have to take responsibility for the faults of one or two. The people of this country have only one question to ask.
Let's now take a look at some cabinet decisions that were reached yesterday.
The cabinet decided to grant permission to the Singaporean company Hambantota Power Private Limited to construct a 400 megawatt liquid natural gas power plant in Hambantota. According to the cabinet decision, the project will be carried out as a joint venture together with the electricity board. The project will be carried out as a project of the Sri Lankan and Chinese governments. The proposal was presented by Minister Ranjit Siamalapitia. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe had presented a proposal to cabinet yesterday on formalizing a procedure for state investments. According to the procedure, guidelines will be issued to state institutions on how to identify projects, how to plan the projects, and obtain approval for them. There is, however, a question as to why it took the government 3 years to take such measures on state investments. How many people have been appointed to take necessary actions on public, private, and public-private partnership investments? How many officials, including Minister Malik Samaravikrama, Deputy Minister Sujiva Sena Singha, Advisor Mangalayapa, the Board of Investments, and the Private-Public Partnership Agency are working on this? Why has the need to formalize state investment emerged suddenly? Is this the reason why people have branded such actions as blatant lies?
The Cabinet has approved 2 proposals for a project presented by the Netherlands and Belgium governments to construct 4,000 bridges at the rural level.
The Cabinet paper for this project was presented by Minister of Provincial Councils, Local Government and Sports, Faiza Mustafa. The permission was given to the Belgium company Janssen Bridging and 17 million euros were allocated to build 60 bridges at the rural level. Permission was granted to build 200 more bridges to a Netherlands company called Janssen Bridging International. 50 million euros are allocated to that.
There is news and speculation that the Netherlands government has given a grant for 4,000 bridges. Now what we know is the government has already planned several bridges earlier, but now these bridges have come and the people are now talking whether this has come for the 19th Amendment, which removed and curtailed the powers of the President, and whether this is a gift for that is a big issue today. We never expected the government to stoop down to this level. All what we wanted is good governance and a relationship that will take forward the country forward and also ensure that all communities live in peace. But today, the government itself is breaking up into pieces, which is a very sad story for all of us to listen to.
Still in local news, the CID has begun investigations based on the revealings made by the New York Times on former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The CID recorded statements today with regard to the complaint made by the National Movement of Web Journalists. The former president said that he would go to courts after the revelation was made by the New York Times. He said that he will take steps against this. None of these things have been done up until now. 3 months have passed. No action has been taken. That proves there is some truth behind this allegation. According to the information revealed, there has been some transactions done by checks amounting to billions from both sides. Previously also we said that Mahinda Rajapaksa is a thief and we still stand by it. If he stole, the people of the country would know that. If the government has no deals with the former president, they should immediately investigate into these allegations.
Up next is Crime Watch.
An individual was shot this morning in Udamalala in Hambantota. According to our correspondent, the victim was seriously injured and was admitted to the Hambantota General Hospital. It is reported that the victim, identified as Jumbo, has been charged for murder and theft and was currently on bail. The body found in a pandanus bush along the Dadanla beach in Gaul has been identified to be that of a 12-year-old girl living in Godakavela, Kratnapura. The body was identified by the parents in the presence of the acting magistrate of Gaul, Kirti Uduvela. Although the death is assumed as a case of suicide, it is yet to be confirmed whether it was a murder. The police media spokesman's office stated that the parents had lodged a complaint on the 28th of September with the Godakavela police regarding the disappearance of their child. The body was taken to the Karapitia Teaching Hospital for the post-mortem examination. 2 suspects were arrested in connection with the shooting that took place a few weeks ago at a vehicle service centre in Tangol. The suspects were produced before the Tangol magistrate and will be remanded until the 17th of September.
The minister in charge of the police was instructed by the President and the Prime Minister yesterday to implement strict measures to eradicate underworld activities. If it wasn't for the support from certain senior police and politicians, the underworld would not survive more than 3 or 6 months. This is not a recent problem. This is a problem faced for the past 30 to 40 years. An end to this problem is still not identified. The 19th Amendment was brought forward to establish the police as an independent commission. We are now questioning whether the police established as an independent commission is a house made for elders to relax and live in comfort.
Former Minister Mervyn Silva expressed the following views in Kandy today.
Yes, I'm the leader of the Veera Dutugamunu movement. What do you want? Did you attend this with the intention of receiving certain political privileges? What did King Dutugamunu say back then? He said this was for the development of Buddhism and not for royal treatment. Mervyn Silva was in it for 19 years. I had the positions they obtained 19 years later. It's like someone questioning me why I served fish when I was asked to serve and eat. I served fish to eat. Didn't you have anything else to ask? After some time, you might ask me how many mistresses I have apart from the legal wife.
Issuing a release, the Transparency International Sri Lanka said it wishes to highlight the need to ensure transparency and public scrutiny in the process of investigating serious allegations of corruption at Sri Lanka cricket. TISL made this statement in response to a statement made by the General Manager of the International Cricket Council's Anti-Corruption Unit, Alex Marshall.
TISL Executive Director Asok Obesekar said, quote, "Whilst we are aware of the need to protect information that may be seen as prejudicial to ongoing investigations, it is also important that the ICC informs the public of crucial findings. This will ensure that the cricket-loving public are recognized as key drivers in the demand for integrity in Sri Lankan cricket," unquote. TISL said it is crucial that the ICC's anti-corruption unit works closely with the relevant law enforcement agencies in Sri Lanka to strengthen investigations and ensure that those responsible are held accountable.
Convening a media briefing in Colombo yesterday, leader of the National Unity Alliance, Azad Salih, expressed the following views.
ලංකාවේ ස්කූල් යුනිෆෝම් අදනවා නිෂ්පාදනය කරනවා ඒ උදවියට අත දෙන්න.
They sew school uniforms in Sri Lanka. Help and support them. Sri Lanka was a country which helped the local manufacturers to improve their production instead of importing products to the country. It solves the unemployment issue. How many families depend on those jobs? The government created havoc by clinging on to the fact that certain things were locally manufactured and certain things were imported during Basil Rajapaksa's time. They finalized that everything will be brought in from foreign nations. What is the value of the dollar now? The 400 rupees voucher is now 1000 rupees. When things are sold in different prices, they are increased by 100%. When it is doubled by 100%, how much money are we sending abroad to get the textiles? The government doesn't know how many factories sew school uniforms. The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade should get together and appoint a team to visit these factories and get the statistics. We can save billions by doing so. This should be taken up before the Cabinet of Ministers next week. These are all what was brought down from China. I request the authorities who engaged in such acts during the Rajapaksa regime not to double your corruption activities. You are worse than the previous government when it comes to stealing.
රාජපක්ෂගේ ආණ්ඩුවේ කරපු හොරකම් තමුන්නාසලා වැඩි කරලා කරන්න එපා. මේක උන්ට වඩා අන්ත ලෙවල් එකට තමුන්නාසලා.
Minister Lakshman Kirialla, during his visit to Trincomalee, responded to questions raised by journalists.
මේක සම්බන්ධව ඒ වගේ බැංකුවක ටේප් එකක් කරනවාම යන්ත්‍රාගේ සල්ලි අපිට තව ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා.
ආදකේ වන සංරක්ෂණ නිලධාරී මෙතෙන්ට ගෙනාවේ නැහැ නේ එමතුමාද?
මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තාම බලංගු ඒකයි මම ඔබතුමාගෙන් අහන්නේ.
හැම වෙලාවෙම එමතුමා ඔහොම යන්න එපා එමතුමා අපි ක්ලියර් කරගමු එමතුමා.
අපි සියලු අදහස් ඉදිරිපත් කරන අවශ්‍යතාවය මේන්තුවේ බලතල අනුව යම් යම් දේවල් කතානායකතුමාට කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි තත්ත්වයකට දාන්න කියන්නේ. ස්වාධීන මන්ත්‍රී වර උරයින් පස්සේ තීරණයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉස්සෙල්ලා ස්වාධීන වෙන්න ඕන.
හොඳයි ගරු නෑ ඒක මම දෙන්න.
තුමා අද විවාදයට විරුද්ධද? නෑ නෑ මට කෙලිය උත්තරයක් ඕන. සිංගප්පූරු වෙළඳ කිවිසුම කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයට ඉදිරිපත් කෙරුවා. මේක සාකච්ඡාත් වුණා. කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලය මේක අනුමත කෙරුවා.
Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce Buddhika Pathrana met with a group of industrialists in Batiklo today.
The discussion was held at the Batiklo District Secretariat. Attention was focused on the issues faced by industrialists of the Batiklo and Ampara districts. No matter what government comes to power, industrialists should be protected. Open economy does not mean that all doors and windows will be opened. We must act with a mechanism where certain windows can be closed when it is required.
6 provincial councils will end its official term by the end of this month. The Constitutional Council too cannot function properly due to the delay in the appointment of 6 members.
The 19th Amendment to the Constitution reinstated the Constitutional Council to strengthen democratic governance and limit its executive powers. The approval of the Constitutional Council is vital for the appointment of Supreme Court judges, including the Chief Justice and the President of the Court of Appeal, for the posts of the Chief Justice, including Attorney Generals, Inspector General of Police, Auditor General, Chairpersons and members of the independent commissions. Currently, it is only the Speaker of Parliament, the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition and the Presidential Representative who are active in the Council, while 6 positions remain vacant. These vacant positions must be filled by 2 ministers, 3 civil society representatives and a representative from a minor party who will be appointed by the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. Due to the lack of members, the Constitutional Council is unable to conduct meetings.
If the need arises to change a senior position, will the delay in the appointment of the Constitutional Council be an issue?
To date, there are 5 provincial councils that have ended its term and currently under the control of governors. The official term of the Northern Provincial Council is due to end on the 25th of October. The official term of the Central Provincial Council is due to end on the 8th of October and its final meeting was held yesterday. The official term of the Northwestern Provincial Council is also due to end on the 10th of October and its final meeting was held last morning. The official term of the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council ended on the 26th of September last month, while the Eastern Provincial Council ended its term on the 30th of September. The official term of the North Central Provincial Council ended on the 1st of October. The official term of the Southern Provincial Council, Western Provincial Council and Uva Provincial Council is due to end on the 10th of April, 21st of April and 8th of September respectively next year. The committee appointed under the patronage of the Prime Minister has requested an additional 2-month period for the preparation of the evaluation report.
I answer all your questions daily with regard to this matter. Refer the Provincial Council's Election Act. A committee has been appointed headed by the Prime Minister to review delimitation activities. The committee will publish a report which will be closely reviewed and handed over to the President. After it is gazetted, elections will be held. Though I am the Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government, according to the Elections Act, the delimitation activities will be reviewed by a 5-member committee headed by the Prime Minister.
K.A.S. Pires, the former Deputy Sports Director of the Sports Development Department, says that it is unclear as to why the ICC Anti-Corruption Unit has commenced an investigation when the Sri Lankan team is about to face the England team for a tournament.
ICC anti-corruption unit Lanka
The ICC's anti-corruption unit has come to Sri Lanka and have begun investigations into certain corruptions. There is a problem here. When there is an upcoming series with England, there are suspicions that arise when the anti-corruption unit of the ICC makes announcements regarding investigations in this manner. This can be a reason to demoralize the Sri Lankan players. The other point is, there were many stories regarding the controlling body of cricket in the country. One was that people involved in betting being involved in administration. The other was that fixing happens and that betting takes place. It is suspicious as to whose agenda these investigations are taking place. When these matters had been reported to the ICC, they have suddenly commenced investigations. After the previous loss, Angelo Matthews was completely taken off the team. How ethical is this removal? That is a question that we have. Even though Angelo failed in this particular tournament, he is an all-rounder and a senior player. I am of the opinion that he should remain in the team. I also think that all of this happens for other reasons. We are faced with the question as to whether they are trying to completely destroy cricket in our country. We have to ask the players. There is a challenge. Face it and provide a strong answer to the people who are corrupt. You will have our strength as well.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra Hassan. Take care and good night.